This video was filmed and edited by Geo Barlett Production. Alright, so today I'm going to be covering up this girl's tattoos. Really cool. She's got some old writing that was supposed to be a song that was the lyrics kind of dedicated to her dad and stuff, but I think she found, just like a lot of people find, that sometimes words aren't like the best description of their loved one, so she wanted to get a picture that would describe her relationship with her dad way better. And I really like the ideas we kind of went through, and we ended up kind of landing on this whole like nature hiking kind of theme. So came up with a really cool idea last night that I was really excited to show her. So let's get started and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is kind of what I was thinking.
That's freaking sweet.
Oh, so?
Yes.
Alright.
I love it.
Like the colors and stuff? Those kind of.
I'm not a fan of pink.
Okay. You could make it more.
But other than that,
like
I love
mixed
it.
with purple, you know? So
Yep,
it's like a magenta
I'm cool with that.
or something.
Yep.
So
That's badass. I love
colors
it.
can always be changed, you know? It's not.
Okay.
But as long as you like the structure and
Yes,
stuff.
it's sweet.
And, you know, different layers, so it's like, you know, you can see like the grass layer and
Yeah.
the hills. And,
I love it. I think it's perfect.
and then we're using like the empty spots to
Yep.
really, you know, bring some focus there too or whatever. So
That's sweet. I love it. I love the snowflakes.
sweet, yeah. So like the more layers the better, you know?
Yep.
So that'll work really good. You could kind of see it's a path like that. How's that look?
I love it. Yeah. No, that's good. I check our tattoo policy at work and we're good.
Okay. So how long you had it then?
Almost 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was it originally, to like represent your dad?
Yeah. I don't know. I was having like a bad day and jamming out when that came on. I don't remember if I was running or driving. And I just grabbed my girlfriend and I'm like, hey, let's go. And she lit with me and
Yeah.
it's fine. I like the location and I like the look, but
Just want something that represents him a little better. And
yeah.
stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Now that I'm older and
Right. Like
Like,
a
I
picture
just-
says a
Yeah,
words or whatever,
yeah.
and that was where it is there.
right, and I like
Expression.
understand him more. I'm like, this is not how he would want to be represented. And I have a snowflake on the back of my neck for him, and that's my favorite one, but I can't see it. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be quiet, and you're not sitting
Oh, alright.
for hours. Like,
Right.
it's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
back home that's what a lot of people do, is like duck hunting.
Yeah, that's
That's a
our
big
favorite.
one.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, it's actually art. Like, I went to like a few different people to get this done, and I'm like, anyone can put a freaking Google image on top of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I want.
The old expression everybody knows is that a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's why I think sometimes a word tattoo can really fall short, especially as a memorial tattoo. In my opinion, words can never express the same emotions as a picture. My client had this quote done to remember her dad by, and later in life she realized how much more unique and special a tattoo she could have gotten, like many other people realize. Well, that's when she decided to search for an experienced cover-up artist, and that's when we met. I always start every tattoo like this with a consultation in person. It's a cover-up tattoo, so there's a lot of factors to it, like how dark the ink is in the skin right now, because a lot of times people will send me a picture of the tattoo when it was just done, and it really matters how it healed up and how it currently is in your skin. So I have to see that, and it's easier to see in person. And it's also, another factor is scar tissue. So a lot of tattoos can be heavily scarred, or sometimes the tattoo is barely even in the skin still. So it's really important that I see it in person first, so that's why I always start with an in-person consultation. In this case was no different. We talked about her relationship with her dad during the consultation and how they spent time hiking and adventuring, and he really liked the outdoors. So it made sense that we ended up agreeing on this sort of landscape and winter theme. We looked at some references together, and we kind of got a similar vision right there, so we kind of knew what to expect down the line whenever we ended up doing the tattoo. She dropped a deposit, waited a couple of months, I think it was, and then she came in and got the tattoo done. My favorite part of the tattoo is this little path that I added. I kind of wanted it to symbolize life's mysterious journey. And I'm just so grateful to do meaningful tattoos like this for people, and it really takes a lot of trust, and she gave me 100% freedom with the design. And it's a lot of responsibility as an artist to be able to take somebody's ideas and their meaning, and to have them trust me with my vision like that is just really humbling. So I had a really good plan, and I have a lot of experience with cover-up tattoos, so I was really confident that we were going to make this happen. Starting to get like more of a palate for
it. Isn't that funny? Actually, like taste the stuff when we were younger, it's so nasty. Like just so nasty, and now.
But it's also it's different because like when I was young, I would buy like cheap shit, like Jack Daniels.
Yes. Yeah.
And now I buy like a $70 bottle.
Right.
Like
I hated tequila until I had Patron. I was like, this is actually really good.
Regular tequila.
Yeah.
You could shoot it without a face even.
Yeah, yeah. And like I actually want to drink that. Like that's a nice taste.
Like you could swish it around in your mouth and stuff, and I'm like, you can't do that with regular whiskey.
No.
I've had some sipping tequila from Mexico that was like that too.
Oh really?
Yeah, it just tastes like cinnamon or something.
Oh, that's different.
That's pretty good. For this tattoo, I'm using the FK Irons machine. It's really the most versatile machine that I've ever used. I really like it for everything from lining to shading, whether it be a realistic piece or something less realistic. Honestly, I found it really good for everything. The biggest factor on using the machine is going to be the needles that you use too. And I've been using Cheyennes lately, so that's what I've just switched over to. But for everything I just get it all through Eternal Ink's supply company. So if you're interested in anything I'm using, it's all there. They are a one-stop shop for like any supply you need. So that's the company you want to go to, most reliable for me. And this weekend you can find me at the All-American Tattoo Convention in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm really excited to tattoo the Army soldiers that will be attending from Fort Bragg nearby. And I'm also excited to learn anything I can from some of the world's best artists that will be attending. It's always a really cool time whenever we can come together as a community and share our experience with the world and share our joy and our biggest passion in tattooing. I'm going to be documenting my whole experience there as much as I can, so if you enjoy this kind of content that I've been creating, please tune in and follow my adventures. Really appreciate you supporting everything we do.
I need a good podcast.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
That's cool.
I hear a lot about current events because of the podcast I listen to mainly and shit.
That's how I understand it, like comprehend it more too.
Right, just like people talking.
Yeah, because when I watch the news, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
right,
and it's scary.
Harvard lawyer or something.
Stop talking like that.
On a tattoo like this, it's really big and it's really important that you have a solid plan. It's difficult to do a cover-up, so you need to almost practice it if it's possible beforehand. So what I like to do is take a picture of the tattoo and I draw right on top of it on my iPad. This is becoming really popular in the tattoo world now, just digital designing. I think it's incomparable to anything else whenever you're preparing a cover-up. If you don't do this now, then I suggest that you pick up the iPad and the Apple Pencil, because no other stylus has really been the same for me either. And this has been like a major game changer in all my cover-up tattoos and just all my designs in general, I would say. I think it's all about style, picking your person for style,
Yep.
A lot of people don't really consider that. They just think that every artist can do anything. Like so even like a lot of people go in and they're like, this guy could do anything, and then just give him this design and rock it out. Maybe it's just like you're giving him a traditional tattoo and he's like really good at portraits or something, which is no line work at all, and that makes sense to bust out this line work. He just wants to make that extra $100. Not saying that those guys are like this at all either. But,
No.
you know, just in general in the industry, you know, it's like a thing. Like a lot of times, like that's why I try to direct them into like getting something from me that like I'm really good at, you know. Or if they want something I'm not great at, then I'll try to direct them to other people and stuff.
Which is cool.
You should get that to the right person, you know. If I'm not gonna put that time and energy into it and love what I'm doing on you, then it's probably not gonna be something I'm gonna even accept in the beginning, because then it's just not right. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
If you like bought a painting from a famous painter or something, a lot of times they're like, and almost every time, like they're never like commissioned artists. You know, nobody told them what to paint.
Right.
They just did it. You know, they had an idea and they went for it. A lot of times they're experimental, so it ended up being something that didn't exist before ever. And that's how the best tattoos are created too. You know, kind of like the person is just using all the skill sets they've learned forever and like putting it all together finally for this moment of like, you know, your tattoo or whatever. Because like I'm looking at tattoos every day, all day basically. So I'm able to take, you know, do something that's not common or created all the time and stuff, because I know what is common, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be like kind of obsessive with it, otherwise you never really like take it to the next level. You just always kind of stay where you're at. It's like the worst feeling, that being like stagnant, you know.
Right.
I never have done this, but like I can only imagine, you know, like looking back a year and having the same look of work from that year or whatever.
Right.
It's like sad. It just became a big interest of mine over the last like couple of years. I did a little bit of it, and my dad was always super interested in it every time I would do it, you know.
So it's kind of like you've experimented with it?
Yeah, I felt like, you know, he's an artist kind of too, but like more like on campus, like he does like watercolors, and he's just kind of artistic in general. Like when he grew up, he would do like weird shit, like make like little guys out of like dough and have you know, he would have like guts on the inside made out of gummies and stuff, and I would dissect it with him. Every year for Halloween there would always be like a fun new costume and stuff. Like Frankenstein, we made it out of like paper mache, like a whole mask ourselves and stuff, you know. So it was, he was always kind of like pushing that little piece of my brain, that artistic side. Like
that's cool.
Maybe there's something to that whole cover-up thing, you know, like it's like a restorative thing, you know. It's not really just doing a tattoo, it's like you're giving someone a piece of their skin back, kind of, you know? And it kind of was one that started making me think of stuff like that, and then seeing like going to conventions and meeting people from other countries that do crazy shit, like weird styles that don't really exist here, you know?
Yeah.
And taking those inspirations and kind of putting it into what I'm doing too, and just trying different things out for cover-ups too, because it's really hard sometimes to figure out what's going to cover this or whatever.
Yeah.
So, for a little bit, you know, and then I realized like nobody else is really doing that kind of stuff, so it's kind of even more unique than
I think it's super unique.
So that's kind of the goal, you know, just keep creating something that I'm not really seeing out there, you know. And some of the first paintings I ever did were like super abstract things, you know, like I would just put like an eyeball and some like lips or something weird on the. Maybe that was like kind of my natural like inclination too, you know.
Found it.
Yeah, I kind of incorporated the stuff I just always enjoyed looking at and then put it into tattoos. Because at first it was just kind of trying to figure out how to do a nice tattoo, you know, and that's kind of a journey in itself. And then you kind of figure style out.
Like put your spin on it.
Yeah. Because you're like, what do I want to see the most, you know? Like,
yeah, you don't want to get bored.
Yeah. So you try to figure out what you want to see and create it. Now it's like I have kind of my own vision that I'm trying to create every time I'm doing a tattoo. It's like I'm kind of like I have a really good plan. I know exactly what I'm getting into, what I'm gonna do and stuff. Like, because people ask me that quite a bit though, like how I ended up doing that style and stuff.
Right.
It's hard to even remember, kind of. You know, it kind of just happened naturally. It's weird. Like my ideas with cover-ups, they stem from a lot of the stuff I was taught from just different artists, and the biggest thing with doing a cover-up is that it's not always just about planting something right over the top of the old tattoo that covers it with a darker ink or a bigger design. A lot of times it's about being tricky and using the empty spaces that you still have left from the old tattoo, and it's also about using a lot of layers. So if you notice in this tattoo, there's a lot of different layers and a lot of use of the negative area, like in the snowflake. It draws a lot of attention to that snowflake, and then you have a lot of black surrounding it, and that's the first major layer, is the path and then the silhouettes of the trees. And then you have multiple layers of mountains and a whole sky that is, a sky is always really cool if they're willing to let you go kind of cosmic with it, or just let you have like free reign with the colors. It's malleable, it's easy to make it into the kind of tattoo that you need it to be to cover that particular spot at that particular tattoo. Said more than just slapping something over the top of it. You have to get really tricky with cover-up design a lot of times, especially if it's something like this where it's a bunch of straight bars of writing. You really have to break it up with a lot of different things going on. Start by asking the person, if they didn't have that tattoo in that spot, then what would they want there? It's going good though, it looks cool.
Yeah, I love that snowflake. That's about all I can see. That looks sweet.
So I realized too, like going to a lot of conventions, talking to a lot of people, is like everything that's really, really good takes a lot of time to create stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. You just gotta slow down, kind of, is a big part of it. Just personally, like, part of what I think about too isn't just getting popular or known or successful or rich or whatever. It's like a legacy, you know? Like, what do people remember me like whenever I'm gone and my son is just here?
Right.
Is he gonna consider is worth continuing on for me, personality-wise, you know? Like, am I gonna give him something, like, is he gonna think that the only thing that matters is money, or is he gonna, you know, have values and shit too? And like, as far as application technique, the big thing with doing cover-up tattoos is to really make sure you take your time and really saturate that ink in there, because if you don't, then it's gonna be very obvious and show through. And you can't just put something lighter over something darker. That should be obviously said. How's it feel? Terrible?
No. No.
Like you're on with
Not too bad.
Sweet. It's just not part accident level then.
No.
Alright guys, well thank you for joining me for that one. It was really fun to put that together. It's always a really painful spot, so I was really happy that she sat through that whole thing, because the end of that, like putting those white highlights in and stuff, it could really sting a lot. So that's why I've been using some more like anesthetic stuff towards the end on a lot of these kind of tattoos. But cover-ups are really fun. I was really enjoying that, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed it too, and that maybe it helped you kind of like understand the process a little bit better on how I do cover-ups. So maybe you'd be a little more comfortable coming in and talking to me about your ideas. So, you know, if you're interested, you got something you really like need to get rid of, then let's start by setting up a consultation. We can meet in person, and that's kind of how we did this one. You know, we meet in person, you go over the ideas, you look at the stuff that kind of like is your idea, and then I kind of like expand on it from there, and use my expertise to tell you what will and won't work, and then kind of my head and your head coming together comes up with some kind of special idea that nobody else has. I really like doing cover-ups, especially because I always end up coming up with this kind of tattoos that maybe I wouldn't have even done if there was blank skin behind it. So it's really unique, really cool form of tattooing. It's really like all about being restorative and bringing you your piece of skin back and making it yours again. So if you're interested in doing something like that, then contact me. Let's get started by setting up a consultation, and then we can book you for June or July. Right now I'm booking Michigan for that time period. So looking forward to meeting you. Thank you.